Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to welcome you on behalf of the International Eczema Council to our new virtual session that is part of the EADV on new systemic treatments for atopic dermatitis and clinical trial design. So just few words on the International Eczema Council. Our association was founded in late 2014, and it's a global non-for-profit organization led by dermatology experts on atopic dermatitis. We are being governed by a 13-person board of directors, and we are happy to report that we have over 100 counselors and associates from 24 countries and most of the continents besides Alaska that are serving as expert advisors to the IEC, and we still are growing and we are welcoming new applications of people that are really interested in atopic dermatitis and have published extensively on atopic dermatitis. Now, we've done some major symposia at major meetings, such as the World Congress of Dermatology, on new topical developments, at the SID barrier, and the EAD. We talked about commonalities and differences between atopic dermatitis and alopecia areata, microbiome. At the Inflammatory Skin Disease Summit, we presented atopic dermatitis phenotypes and biomarkers. At the EADV in 2018, we had comorbidities of atopic dermatitis and many others. So basically, at every single important meeting or major, a large meeting, we have a symposia that we know will be of interest to our counselors and to the community. And I'm sure that many of you attended some of these symposia that were really successful. Now we are excited. We are embracing a new opportunity. We are going virtual because of the period, and I'm sure that this will be something that we can still do later on, in addition to our in-person symposia. So in July, we launched a symposia on management of atopic dermatitis patients on systemic treatments during COVID-19. And we, in September 2020, we had another symposia on new treatments for atopic dermatitis in infants and children. And we are excited to also have future symposia that I hope that some of them, at least some of them, will be actually in person. The EAD in 2021 on hand eczema, we currently still do not know if it will be in person. The SID on biomarkers, and the Inflammatory Skin Disease Summit that will be in November 2021. And that one I'm very hopeful will be in person, because by that time we should have a vaccine on alopecia areata and atopic dermatitis, and the ESDR in 2021, which I hope also will be in person on human models of eczema. Now, we also publish every year at our site the top 10 publications that were selected by our counselors, and you can find it on our site. And these are instrumental to see what's new in atopic dermatitis. We also have multiple publications that are published on behalf of the International Eczema Council. And we have several that are also in progress, such as hand eczema, atopic dermatitis biomarkers that was just submitted, and atopic dermatitis systemic treatment management in special population of interest. Now, we could not have done it without our sponsors and without the collaboration with our sponsors, because to really bring new drugs for our patients with atopic dermatitis, we need to do major collaborations with pharma, academia, patients organizations. They are all important in order to bring a drug to patients. So we really want to thank the companies that sponsored us, and you can see the list right here. Now we have a very distinguished panel of speakers in the symposia that is on new systemic treatments for atopic dermatitis and clinical trial design. I know that many of you are very interested to know what is the right way to design a trial for atopic dermatitis, and you'll hear from the best experts. So the speakers here include myself. I'm the IEC president, Robert Bissonnet, that is the president-elect, and he is an authority in clinical trial design and in general in clinical trials for atopic dermatitis. Michael Cork that is also an authority in clinical trials for atopic dermatitis in both adults, but also children. Thomas Bieber, that is so well known to everybody that does atopic dermatitis research, whether it's translational research or clinical research. Diamond Tachi, that is also from Germany, and so well known also to everybody that does clinical trials in atopic dermatitis and clinical research in atopic dermatitis. And Eric Simpson, that was associated with so many landmark studies in atopic dermatitis. And we are very excited that he's also here. And Jonathan Silverberg, that also is participating in so many clinical trials and also in clinical trial design in atopic dermatitis. And Andreas Wallenberg, that again participated in many clinical trials, also very experienced in clinical trial design, and also was part of many landmark studies for atopic dermatitis. So really an all-star lineup that we put for you today for this very important subject on new systemic treatments for atopic dermatitis and clinical trial design. I hope that you enjoy this session. So the agenda for the symposium, I start with the welcome and program overview. Then Robert Bissonnette will give optimizing clinical trial design for atopic dermatitis drug development. Michael Cork with novel systemic treatments in pediatrics and the placebo responses in systemic trials. Thomas Bieber will talk about monoclonal antibodies targeting Th2 receptors and cytokines. Diamond Tachi will talk about monoclonal antibodies targeting epithelial-derived proteins. And I will talk about monoclonal antibodies targeting other targets and biomarkers of treatment response. Eric Simpson will talk about systemic JAK inhibitors. Jonathan Silverberg will talk about topical JAK inhibitors. And Andreas Wallenberg will talk about other systemic treatments. So enjoy the symposium, and I hope you find it useful.